back. We're here with Dylan from Computers for People. Dylan, it is a pleasure to have you on the podcast. We met at the Forbes 30 Under 30 event, which was an amazing event. So I'm very happy to not only, have you tell your story, but just inspire people with your journey being an entrepreneur. So thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to
Of
be here in
course.
this nice room. We got some plants behind me,
Yes.
some trees, so excited to get going here.
Perfect. I love it, man. So we'll get right into it. Can you talk about what is the benefit for companies to donate their computers, their electronics to Computers for People?
Definitely. This is like one of the easiest sales pitches for me. I get to go to so many conferences, meet so many people, and it's like the easiest thing. Um, so what's the benefit of donating your computers? Most companies, if you look at a large company that has 100,000 employees, they have a refresh cycle on their old technology where they usually refresh that every 3 years. That
Wow.
means if you have a 100,000 person company and everyone has a laptop, that means 30,000 computers are being recycled every single year. And the IT department needs to figure out a way to ship out, what is that, maybe 15 truckloads worth of computers. Uh, Most of the time, these large companies pay to get rid of their old computers, which doesn't make any sense. They're paying to get rid of millions and millions of dollars worth of very usable equipment. So what Computers for People does is we not only pick up for free, we give you a tax write-off on all that equipment, and all of that equipment gets refurbished and donated to people in need across the United States so that they can access jobs, education, telehealth, affordable housing, food, and so much more. So there's a lot of benefits to it, and there's a lot of real people that have been impacted by the companies that have donated to Computers for People. So uh, those are just a couple of the ways.
No, I those are two great ways for, businesses and like advantages for them. You you mentioned that other companies usually charge for this service. Can you kind of talk about when you were crafting this idea of Computers for People, why did you decide not to charge and come up with a way to still service them?
Yeah, well, I originally started here in New York. I started in Brooklyn, New York, after a couple of my friends told me that there are these thrift stores in deep, deep Brooklyn that had all of these electronics and random audio visual equipment on these shelves, and we could just go there and pay like bottom price to buy all of this stuff and then flip it on eBay and sell it. So I was like, this sounds like the potentially the best weekend activity of my entire life. Like we brought our skateboards, we skateboarded to these thrift stores, we bought these old computers, we negotiated with the thrift store owner who had no idea what he was selling us. And for one, tenth of the price of the value of that equipment, we were able to purchase it, put it on our skateboards, take it back, refurbish it, sell it on eBay and Facebook. And it was a great business when I was like 14 or 15. So at that time, I just started learning and hearing that so many people didn't know how to get rid of their old computers. And meanwhile, I was there paying a tenth of the price for the value of the equipment. What if I could get it for free, you know? So to me, picking up for free is, it's kind of a win-win for everyone. They're not being charged to get it taken away. I'm getting it for free because I used to pay for it. And uh, that's sort of how the model originated. I mean, it's iterated a lot over time because we went from like I went from me and my mom going to like someone's house and picking up one laptop to now we just picked up three 26-foot box trucks worth of equipment yesterday
Wow.
um, from a Fortune 100 company. And the amount of progression there and logistics and things I've learned is much different because it costs a lot more money to pick up, three box trucks worth of equipment versus going with my mom, which technically it's free because my mom pays for the gas. You know,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, that's how it started, and I'm sure it's gonna iterate over time.
There's a lot there, and I could go down so many different routes with my next question. But when when you were scaling from going with your mom to pick up one laptop, Can you kind of talk about what the scaling process was like from working with your mom to servicing a Fortune 100 company?
Sure. Yeah, there's been so many ups and downs along the way there. Because it wasn't just like, okay, one day, my mom and I are picking up, and then the next day, oh, we got a van, and then the next day we got, oh, we need a box truck, and then, oh, we don't have enough money for all these trucks, so let's outsource all the logistics. Um, there's been so many ups and downs, and it's hard to say. I mean, it all starts with like the momentum of where we originally started and staying really mission driven. But my mom was picking up computers for me for the first like 2 or 3 years, to be
Wow,
honest. Uh, she was amazing.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and it really started growing even more because I was able to get the funding. I used to, oh, I still do. We actually apply for more now. I probably submitted the first 2 to 300 grants for computers for people. I would just write, a few grants a week at the very start, and my first, I think, 10 to 15 grants all were denied. But just like, kept filling them out, and eventually someone gave me $1,000, and then from there someone gave me $5,000, and then someone gave me 10, and then 15, then 20, and then we got to the point where I got $1 million grant a year ago, a year or two ago, and it's just really grown from there. And with that funding, I've been able to build a really solid team around me that knows way more than me about growing a company, about logistics, about uh, managing other people. I've had a lot of challenges in managing people, so um, we've had quite a few drivers between my mom and, the logistics system we have set up
Yeah,
now. But yeah, it's really been a process, and I could talk about so many different stories, you know, problems, and we still haven't figured it all out.
yeah. I feel like as an entrepreneur, we almost never have uh, the ability to problem solve everything. We're always going to pivot. We're always going to try to do something better. Push like the boundaries of what's possible. And when you were 15 and you had this vision of building something, most 15-year-olds are watching cartoons. They're going to school. They are not even thinking about building something that could impact humans and impact businesses. Was there like ever a point when you were younger that you knew that you were going to do something great?
Um, I think from the first time I thought of computers for people, the first day, so I was talking with my stepmom who worked at a nonprofit. She worked at a nonprofit in Brooklyn, New York called Flatbush Development Corporation that worked with a lot of people that were underserved and needed affordable housing. And they would come into her center, and her team would help them apply for affordable housing. And she constantly would tell me how if all these people had access to computers, then that would make it just that much easier for them to get affordable housing. And you like everyone knows how much housing has a role in your life, right? Just having a comfortable place to live and go home to raise your family, all of that, right? And so I think it was really from that moment because I already had this idea of like collecting computers from companies, and once I heard that like I can change people's lives through just giving them access to technology, I was like, that's just how my brain works, I guess. I just like I go to the max
Yeah,
instantly. Like I don't start with, okay, well I can do this on a small scale. I was instantly like, okay, well this could be a worldwide solution potentially, and I could do this, and then I could do that, and then I could do this, then I could scale in this way, and I think yeah, so that's just like how it's always started, and sometimes you have to come back to like to ground level with certain things, but otherwise, like I think that's where like my drive comes from. Is like there's so much opportunity here and so many people that we've already been able to help, um, but I'm always looking and thinking about the future.
Do you think that's something that we're born with or that's cultivated through environment? Like, why do you think you have this insane drive to want to be, I would say, even more than great versus other people that were 15, 16, not even thinking about that at all? Like, were you born with this? Do you think this had to play in with your parents? Like, what do you think really cultivated you wanting to be great at such a young age?
Um, I think you're born with it to a certain extent. Um, just because I went to a school called Babson College, which is for uh, people that want to be entrepreneurs. It's like a full entrepreneurship school. And the whole concept is you can teach entrepreneurship. I don't know if I like truly after going to the school. The school was great. I met a lot of amazing friends, and that's probably one of the best points of it is it attracts the best entrepreneurs
Yeah.
there. Um, does it take someone who doesn't have drive and give them drive? Absolutely not. I don't think there's any way for you to give someone the drive to do something. Even people who are really motivated, at one point in time, I think really the special part of it all is like the consistency. Like even in the really terrible times, where terrible, like truly terrible, life-changing things have happened during this journey, um, I've stuck with it. Members of my team have stuck with it, and that's like, I don't know. Maybe it's something your parents give you. Maybe it's just uh, just luck. I don't know. Maybe we're all just on this big blue planet to just thrive and be happy. I don't know.
Yeah. Can you kind of talk about like how much, or can you kind of talk about your parents and like what type of people were they? Were they super supportive on your journey? Were I mean, like, obviously your mother was driving you around picking up computers, but can you kind of dive into your parents a little bit?
Sure. Um, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I really didn't really know my full family story until like few years. I've learned it more and more over the years. But my dad and grandparents were kicked out of Poland for being Jewish, um, back in the late '60s, early '70s, and my great grandfather was the only one, basically only one in his family who survived the Holocaust. So my dad and grandparents came to New York City uh, with basically nothing because they were kicked out of Poland. They were in Italy for 6 or 7 months, and luckily a nonprofit was able to loan them money so they could get their visas and buy a plane ticket to come to the United States. So they came here with nothing. My grandfather drove taxi cabs, and my grandmother like worked at a it's like a blood drive place, something like that. And and they worked their way up. They like really worked hard here in the country, and I think that really stuck with my dad because my dad worked really hard his entire life and was able to get a good job and work his way up in technology. Um, and is still working really hard. Like even though he's worked hard, he's still working hard every day. And my mom has always been a very creative person. She's a dancer. She's a
Interesting.
professional dancer. She went to college for that. So that's probably both those things have played a huge role in just like when I have questions, I talk to them about it. They're willing to talk to me about it. But like having that creative side, but also my dad's more like technical side and management side and leadership side, um, have definitely influenced me. Um, but I would also say like my brother is the complete opposite. So like I don't know. I
Yeah.
know many other people where their parents are like people I really look up to, and then their kids are just completely different, right? And like did not get anything of what their parents had. So so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
a super fascinating question, and I get asked the same thing on podcasts and I don't really have an answer. So
Hmm.
it's super super fascinating to me just to look at all of these type of people that some push through adversity and then some give up when they're pressed. And it's like, what makes that person push versus someone else? You also mentioned that entrepreneurship is not taught. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
Hmm. I would just add one point to the
Yes. Yeah, please.
thing. During my childhood, uh, like if I said I was gonna do something, my parents would force me to do it. Like there's no other way out. Like if I said I was going to join the school play, I better have given my all to that school play the entire time. There's no way I was getting out of it. Same thing with anything else I was doing. So so maybe that had a role. It's just like finish what you start. Um, that's the only thing I could really
Yeah.
really see carry over. But yeah, well, yeah. What was the next question?
You mentioned earlier that you said that you don't think entrepreneurship can be taught. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit?
Hmm. Obviously, basic skills can be taught, like, you know, coding, accounting, managing your finances, creating a business plan. All those things can be taught. And that's exactly like what my college did. That's what probably, if you go to any business school, they'll probably teach you those same core concepts. And you can go on ChatGPT now and learn accounting probably way faster than going to business school and sitting in a lecture for 30 or 40 hours over the course of a semester just to drag it out, right?
Yeah.
So, uh, why is it not, why can't it be taught? I just really think that drive part of it can't be taught. I mean, people can get lucky, like they have the skills and they get lucky and they have an idea and it takes off and they make a lot of money. Sure. But I think that drive part is really hard to teach. Um, and you won't learn it unless you do it and just like stick with it. So that's why I would say it can't, like entrepreneurship itself can't be taught.
You had a chance to meet Sam Altman for 2 minutes. What was that one piece of advice that you really got from him when you met him?
I just think it's crazy that that guy's ruling the world right now.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's just like you realize that all these people that you see on TV and in the news constantly are just real people, you know? They're just real people living their lives, getting pressed constantly from people potentially like us that expect the world out of them, I think. And I just think it's crazy how much power some of those people have right now and the ability that they have right now as well to change, like completely change the world for the better, right? Like I'm just thinking of AI, and I got to put this popcorn down, it's in my hand. I'm just thinking about how AI will either completely widen the gap of what I'm doing, or it can shrink it like very, very quickly. I just think about like myself, and I'm able to be 4 or 5 times more efficient every single day because I used, different AI models. Meanwhile, I serve thousands and thousands of people who don't even have a computer or internet access. And we're just thinking like just thinking about the economic gap there as we keep going along and as models keep getting better and I'm able to be more and more efficient every day and make more money doing that. Um, all these people are going to be left behind. And I think someone like Sam Altman can step in and work with people like me, but also people like the people I work with, like the community leaders. I work with 400 plus nonprofits across the country that know their communities really well and know those people that are struggling the most. And I think we can use AI to close that gap and teach those people the skills and distribute computers way faster than anyone is doing right now, including myself.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. So you would say that that gap of people not having the technology to succeed, and the gap between the people that do, that is one of the main things that you're looking to solve.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's probably the number one problem now that I'm trying to solve.
And it's just getting computers like in their hands and giving them the resources to succeed, or at least give them the potential to succeed, is your goal.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I wouldn't have been able to start my first business if I didn't have a laptop at 13 and was able to learn how to do e-commerce and, learn filmmaking skills and editing and all of those things online and just explore the world, right?
Yeah.
Uh, you know, it's just thinking about if I didn't have a computer or didn't have a cell phone, how behind would I be versus all the people around me? Carrier pigeon type, you know, stuff. I would have to send like snail mail to people,
Yeah.
um, and I would have to need read a newspaper to get the latest news. Instead of getting it instantly on my phone. So there's so much potential, and that's like what we also try to give to our clients. It's not just here's a laptop, here's a way to unlock your dreams, and we also give them a flyer or like a piece of paper with their computer that lists out about 100 different things they can do with their
Love it.
computer to just give like a little bit of inspiration. So it's like these short, 4 or 5 sentence, no phrases like open a business, do this, do that, and it gets more specific as well. But just like a little bit of inspiration along with, this tool.
Love it.
Yeah,
Two more questions for you,
yeah.
Dylan. If you could have dinner with two people,
Uh-oh.
one person from the past and one person from the present, who
All,
would it be and why?
all together.
Yes.
Mm,
You were the first person to ask me that question over the 178 interviews, if it's all together or not.
really? What,
Yeah,
everyone else thought it was separate or what? Or
they just answered it how they thought it. Yeah,
I'm just like I just don't know. I'm not able to listen. That must it must be a me problem. Um, hmm. Ooh, this is tough. Person from the past is definitely Steve Jobs. That's how many people have answered that? That like all 100?
no, I probably maybe two or three,
Okay.
not not
Person from
many.
the past is definitely Steve Jobs, just because I love his advice on the design of everything I'm doing, um, how I'm presenting it to the world, how I can present it in the future, the ideas that I have for the in the future of what I want to start. I would love to run some of those by him, and I guess you can now with AI, sort of, um, but I just want to, I want to eat an apple with Steve Jobs while walking in Palo Alto. That sounds awesome. Just no shoes, no socks, just green apple. Maybe he has a red apple. We're just walking to Palo Alto, just munching on those, just talking about design and life. That would be great. Maybe
I
just
love it.
that. Maybe just that.
What
I'll be
about the present?
hopefully I'll meet the person that I want to meet that's alive
Okay,
in my lifetime. Yeah.
there's not like anyone where you're like, I want to get a meeting or I want to have dinner with this person right now.
No.
No one really. No.
No.
All right, that's fair.
Not right now. Not right now. I mean, there are plenty of people that I do, but not right now.
That's fair. All right.
There,
Well,
there's a
one
lot
more
of people.
question for you.
Yeah,
Yeah, there is a lot of people.
yeah,
One more question, Dylan.
yeah.
Why did you decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
Mm, I'm choking on popcorn. Sorry. I mean, it's obvious. Like there. Well, first of all, I don't think I even explained the Shield Internet program that we have
Oh
on.
yes. Actually, let's dive into that first.
Okay.
I actually yes. We got so caught up like in the family story that I forgot to dive.
Okay. Do you
Yes.
want to want to re-ask the question, I can explain Shield and then.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I'll just cut that question out and then put this part in there, and then I'll ask that question at the end.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Um, where's my question at here? Yeah. So can you just kind of talk about why you decided to create a internet provider and what it is?
Definitely. Yeah, so this is something that I've wanted to do for the past 5 years. There have been so many people where we've given them devices and computers, or have just reached out to us and said they didn't have reliable or affordable internet in their homes. And usually, what I did was refer them to the major internet service providers that were in their area, but still, a lot of them aren't very affordable or require them to go through so many hoops, like, uploading all this documentation that, they're eligible for Medicare or something like that, right? And then having to wait 2 weeks to get approved. Um, so I've been fortunate enough to work with an organization called Mission Telecom, where we built out this program called Shield Internet, and it's the most affordable internet in the entire country. And we've been able to build these devices as well that spreads the network insanely well. It's the only thing that I use in my home and at my office. So it's shieldinternet.org or computersforpeople.org/shield. And people can go on your platform as well now and get, I believe, a 5% off per month discount. So
Yes.
that'll definitely, add up over time, in addition to the fact that it's only $14.89 per month. Um, so the real mission of it is to protect people from big contracts, spending too much money. They shouldn't have to choose between getting internet and affording groceries, like at the basic level. Internet should be a basic necessity, and it should be a utility, I believe. And computers for people is making it happen. And in addition to that, 100% of the profit goes back into donating computers. So if you have the internet subscription
Wow.
for an entire year, that donates one computer to someone in need, which is pretty amazing.
That is awesome. And the thing that I find very fascinating about you and your drive is it is all mission based. Everything you do is for the mission, for helping people, not only on the computer side, but the internet side. Like there is this overarching, like, what can we do to push the mission forward? Yes, I can make money, but I can still help a bunch of people. And I think that's what's really cool about what you're showing is like we can make money and help people. Like we don't need to make all this money and not help people. Like we can do both. And when you were crafting Shield, can you kind of talk about what that process was like when you were coming up with the idea?
Sure. Like I said, it was 5 years in the making of really just like hearing so much feedback from our clients and our recipients. And it was really a group effort. I have two people on my team, Barbara and Devin, who were major contributors and have really built it up. The amount of people that are using it now are all due to like them and their success on advertising and social media and just getting the word out there to our partners. So I feel like I haven't feel like I did so little of it. Um, but I really just wanted to make a brand that people could trust. That was one of the biggest things for me. Is it's really hard to get these communities to trust in new services, especially after so many government programs were skeptical, or so many people were skeptical of government programs, which we actually helped deliver to communities and helped promote through different government grants that we received. And one day, all of those just ran out of funding and vanished. And you know, not only did that look terrible on the government, which, government trust is probably at the lowest it is
Yeah.
in years right now. Um, in addition to that, all these people were mad at us for telling them to sign up for it, right? So one of the biggest parts of Shield and why it's named Shield too is really to implement that trust and become this brand, this service where people feel like it's sustainable and it's not one day just gonna go from, just skyrocket as other internet providers do for no reason. Um, and just really be there to help people. That's like the main goal rather than putting money in other people's pockets.
And when you talk about affordable, can you kind of talk about the difference between your pricing versus others?
Yeah, the average amount that people pay for internet in the country is $78 versus ours, which is $14.89 per month. So I think just that it's a fraction of what the majority of the United States pays. And in addition to that, there's been multiple communities that we've gone to where senior citizens are being taken advantage of and paying $200 to $300 per month for internet. And we're able to cut that to 14.89. And these people had no idea. They just were being taken advantage of by these massive internet service providers that make billions and billions of dollars a year off of them. So it's it's not even it's yeah, I don't know.
One more question for you, Dylan.
Hmm.
Why did you decide to partner with us and offer the discounts?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm trying to get Shield Internet into the most amount of hands and most amount of homes possible. And by working with you guys, spreading the word to not only individuals but businesses across the country, uh, I mean, it's so worth it. I want to provide people a discount on a discounted internet. Right? Like I feel like how much lower could I go here? but uh, but yeah, I really want people to just get involved and hear about it. And you do a great job spreading the word on your platform. So happy to work with you.
Thank you. Yeah, we are very excited to work with you as well, and very excited to, like I mentioned earlier, just push this mission of you helping people, of you wanting to impact people. This mission of we want to provide people things that they don't have at a cost that they can afford for the long term. So we love what you're doing as well. Those are all the questions I have. How can people find you, and what is one thing you want to leave people with?
Yeah, people can find me by going to computersforpeople.org/shield or going on social media, Computers for People, Dylan Zajac, either one of those. And I'll just leave people with take more risks in life. That's what someone who inspired me a lot told me when I asked him for one piece of advice. And since he's told me that, I've taken more risks and seen way more reward over the course of the last few months. So yeah,
Great advice. I love it. Well, Dylan, thank you for coming on the podcast, man. I appreciate it. If you could stay in the room for like 3 to 5 minutes after, and we can chat. I just want to say thank you, and it was a pleasure not only diving into your entrepreneurship story, but some stuff about your family, and then obviously Shield as well. So thank you so much, man.
thanks. Yeah.